Speaking, and welcome to the channel. So I actually found out recently from a fellow YouTuber, Sid Alpha. Now, he has found out that Uzbekistan, which is somewhere near Russia, has actually banned the distribution of 35 video games for violence, pornography, social infringement, social security, and other such nonsense. Now, as a gamer myself, I find this quite interesting and quite funny because it makes me question the validity of these Uzbekistan people who decided this. Now, after doing a bit of research, I actually found out that Uzbekistan is actually quite the majority Muslim, so that might have something to do with it, but I'm not 100% sure. However, looking at the games, they are quite clearly violent, but they also have some kind of story behind them, like Mass Effect, Dead Space, and other games. However, three games jump out at me. The Sims, and 3D Sex Villa. Now, I can understand the 3D Sex Villa thing because the majority of the population is Muslim, so there's likely to be a stigma against pornography. However, I don't necessarily understand the banning of The Sims. That one's just a life simulation game. That just makes no sense whatsoever. It's just a life simulation game. Why would you ban a life simulation game? It makes no sense. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Anyway, one of the things that they have actually said, which actually interests me, was the propagation of violence that video games might have. I'll give you a link to one of the articles about it, as well as the list of the banned games down below, so you can check them out. Please bear in mind that part of it is in Uzbekistan, or something similar to Russian. I can't read it, but the games are in English. The game names are in English, so you might want to check those out. Anyway, Sid Alpha has stated that there is no correlation between video games and violence. While this is technically true, there is actually something that I found out not too long after one of my media theory studies groups. The best way I can explain this is that, yes, video games do not cause violence in a certain way. They are necessarily a trigger. They are basically a triggering thing that can actually cause people to, do all that horrible stuff. However, the person has to have a mental disability beforehand. Now, I don't mean stuff like Asperger's and stuff like that. I mean they have to be mentally problematic. Like, they haven't got a good mental sense. They are bullied in a sense. Let me try and explain it in a certain way. Okay, so what happens is that when someone is bullied throughout their life, domestic and external, then that person will grow up to become more accepting of violence, thinking that it's some way of relieving things. And then he will just continue to accept this until finally he just snaps and then just kills everybody and think there's nothing wrong with it. I would like to remind people of the Dark Knight cinema massacre, as it were. You know, when the guy who was claiming to be the Joker went in and then shot everyone after about 20 minutes of the film and then claiming to be the Joker? He was literally mentally insane. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else other than that. They are people who are mentally insane. People who are mentally unstable cannot cope with video games, like, at all. They think that's normal and it can act as a trigger for them. But this is also the same thing with movies. It's a trigger. No matter what kind of violent movies, no matter what kind of violent TV shows, no matter what kind of violence, they are a trigger, but only to less than 1% of the population. Other than that, video games have got marvelous benefits. They problem solve, heightened reflexes, heightened intelligence, believe it or not, heightened problem solving, heightened social interactions. They are very, very good as a tool for people to, do stuff. And the government of Uzbekistan, or at least the people who decided to ban these games, clearly do not know that. They offer a variety of situations that we can play, that we can understand, and so on and so forth, from another point of view. So that means whoever did this is just a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, they are fucking idiots. Although religion, I hate to say, it does tend to play a part in things. Like it or not, it has to. Now, it could be because of a number of things. I'm actually not too sure. I mean, I have seen Call of Duty on the list. So it could be due to some reason, I just don't know. But those are my thoughts on it. So hopefully this can be resolved soon. But if not, please be aware of this kind of thing. Video game censorship is not the best way to go about things. I mean, yes, in some cases it is important, but not all the time, and not certainly to this degree. You can ban stuff based on what is tasteless inside the video game itself, but you can't ban video games outright. I'm sorry, it just wouldn't work. Also, I should actually point out that I am actually going to be getting a capture card soon, and I'm dusting off my old Xbox at the moment so that I can upload my Let's Plays, and then I'm going to do a review of those games. So, hopefully that will be coming soon, but I cannot promise anything at the moment. My Asperger's is very distracting. Anyway, this is Eclipse Phoenix signing off. Have a good day, folks.